Meow, 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 meow. Hey. Hi. There's a Dodgers. Well, you've got a jammy Dodgers. I had an OBS crash. I had an OBS crash instantly the second that I hit the go button. Which seems like it just happens all the dang time. It's extremely annoying. Hi, Ray. Hello, welcome. I got some nail polish on Jammy's skeleton friend finally. So that's nice. Hello, Sylvia. Welcome. Yeah, Jammy's doing a full-on face mush there. She needs more light, I think, but I guess if you can tell her face is mushed, it's probably okay. I did preemptively restart it, Ray. I've been doing that every time. However, what actually happened was, so if I'm not streaming, but I have everything open, my laptop will actually go to sleep, and I think I'm beginning to suspect that if it goes to sleep, I have to restart OBS again, because I didn't do it after it fell asleep. I did do a fresh restart on OBS earlier, but then my laptop monitor went to sleep. And so I suspect that that's the issue, is that it doesn't like doing that. So I think I have to if it goes to sleep, I have to automatically just restart it before I actually try to go live. That's my hypothesis. Hello, Sassy Dog Mom. Welcome. Yeah, sleep mode does weird things. It is true. Hello, Leo. Welcome. Yeah, Terminator Skelly finally got some nails. It's actually not orange. It's what is it called? It's from Monarch's neon collection from this past summer. Kind of fried, kind of something. Kind of fried, kind of flirty. Is that what it was? So it's actually a red neon, but it does have a shimmer, and it's kind of vibing orange in this lighting. But yeah, technically it's a neon red. Whatever. If I'd realized it was going to show up that orange, I probably would have gone with a different red. But although if I hang on, is that I can make them glow. That's the fun thing about having it be neon. If I use my black light, I can make them glowy. But yeah, I might swap them out for something a little bit more vampy. I wanted it to be like really bright though, and I don't have any super bright reds, I think. Not that I can think of anyway. I have a lot of vampy reds because I tend to go for vampy reds. Yeah, I can't. What was the name of that collection? It does look like it's the same color as the flames, and it's extremely not in real life. It's really weird. Kind of fried, kind of fabulous is the color. So it's a red neon, but it has a strong orange shimmer. So that's what you're seeing. But yeah, I don't have like a super bright, intense, just like straight up red. And clearly that's something that I need. But also, like, would I wear that if I had one? I'm not really a red girl so much. I do love a gory, vampy, bloody kind of red. I'm very much into that. But I feel like that would kind of just get lost back there. It needs to be too bright. Are there 2 cats tonight? Yes. Yeah, I think Weird Girl Summer was a lurid collection. Can't remember what Monarch's collection was. Yeah, maybe something with a red shimmer would be better. I might have to just go through my collection and see if I can find something. Anyway, you know what actually might work really well? What might read more red is this one, which is part of tonight's collections that we're going to be looking at from Arcana. It is extremely not a red polish, but it has a pretty intense red shimmer. So it might actually end up vibing more red in that lighting. Sun-Kissed and Slightly Unhinged was that one. You're right. Good job, Ray. But yeah, I feel like this one might actually work better. I'm a little bit tempted to just like brush it on one nail and see if it works, but I also don't want to stink up the area while Jammy's sleeping because I feel like she might run away. You love reds. I used to hate reds, and then I realized that actually I just am picky about them. I thought I hated reds. But yeah, it turns out I just really love flaming orangey reds, like really intense orangey reds. I love bricky reds, and I love vampy, bloody, gory reds. What I don't like so much are like the fire engine reds and the sort of like more straight ahead reds. Not into those, and I'm not as much into real cool reds. But yeah, I think I'm just real picky about them. But I've discovered that I actually do love them if they're the correct tones for me. You want 3 of these Arcanas? You might want more of them by the time we're done here, but we'll have to see. Your cat is very interested in nail painting but hates the smell. Yeah. Yeah, my cats are always like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then they're like, oh no, why do your hands smell so terrible? Can I get up on your lap? No, why do you stink? It's like, come on, guys. We don't need this. Okay, so plan for tonight. We have 2 quads here. This is not a single collection. This is 2 quads. These, I was given these for swatching. I was paid for the swatches. So the photos that I sent in, I was paid for those. And of course, I did not pay for the nail polish itself. I am not being paid for the live stream as usual. This is just something that I do because I like to do it. But yes, I do have a relationship with the brand, so disclaimer is necessary, of course. You missed my answer to the cat question. What was the cat question? Do I have 2 cats tonight? I think I said yes, and then I got distracted. I have a budgie smuggler as well, but she's in the window back there. She's back there. So you can't really see her. We have two kitties. And I think Brian has the other 2 kitties. So, right, so we have 2 quads from Arcana. These are both coming out tomorrow. I believe 6 p.m. Eastern time is their usual release time. I think that's correct. It might be 7. I think it's 6. I'm pretty sure it's 6. So I think now they didn't explicitly say that this was a one quad Brandy, one quad Abby, but I know they often do sort of split stuff a little bit where they'll have each of them sort of choose their own thing. So I'm not sure if this is one of those situations where, you know, one of them wanted to do a Cottagecore collection and the other one wanted to do a K-pop Demon Hunters collection, or what. Maybe they both wanted to do both and couldn't decide. But they didn't share that information. But what we end up having is a Cottagecore quad and a K-pop Demon Hunters quad. So the Cottagecore quad is on the top. The K-pop Demon Hunters quad is on the bottom. Both of them include one thermal polish, and the K-pop Demon Hunters one also has a magnetic, which is one of those hollow magnetics. So I think my plan for tonight, I do want to swatch on the ring so that I have that for myself, but I'm also definitely going to paint my nails, and I'm thinking what I might want to do is Cottagecore on this hand and K-pop Demon Hunters on this hand. The K-pop Demon Hunters collection is called We Are Hunters. That's the proper name of the collection, of the quad. So We Are Hunters on this hand, Cottagecore on this hand, and then a little simple nail art. I don't want to get too complex because there's already going to be a fair bit with the swatching, but I think I probably have I think I have some cute mushroom stamps that we could do on the Cottagecore hand, and then we might have to freehand the We Are Hunters art because I definitely don't have any stamps that are going to be appropriate for that, but maybe y'all can help me come up with something to do as like a single nail thing or something. So I think we can start with just going through each quad and swatch out on the wheel and then also on me. And I'm not sure what I want to do with the thumbs. I think what I might do is leave the thumbs for nail art. We'll swatch on these fingers and then leave the thumbs for nail art on both. And that way we can kind of decide a little bit later on which we want to do. Which order do I want to do these in? I think I'll do that this way. Okay. So, starting out with the We Are Hunters collection, I'm going to start with the thermal. So this is We're Going Up. I did not pull up the official descriptions, but this one is a black to clear, I believe, thermal, or black to white thermal. White, I'd say it's a white, but it's a very sheer white, as thermal white often is. With gold flakes in it. So, which seems appropriate. I've had this song in my head, by the way, for several days as a result of like people posting this collection or starting to post this collection. And also just like the song is kind of everywhere. But yeah, obviously this one is inspired by the song, what's it called? Golden. I should probably get the doc up so that I have the official information. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, sign me in, please. Come on. Here we are. All right. Nope. That is not the correct one at all. Recent documents. Can I have recent documents? What are you? I think I'm in the wrong account. I have too many accounts here. And I don't know which account it's in. Love that for me. I should have brought this up earlier. At least you get to see exactly how fast that thermal transitions on me. So that's cool. Are you in this one? I have literally like 6 different Google accounts. And I'm just going through them to try and... Oh my god, Skip. Just sign me the frick in. Haha, I found it. All right. Finally found the right account, folks. All right. I could draw the cat on my thumb with the thermal over it if it's sheer enough in the warm state. Interesting. Ray, do I have a dedicated nail account? Yes and no. I'm not necessarily always signed into it when I open up the doc that they send me. And if it's just in my history, then it's going to be in whichever one I'm signed into. Because they usually send me the link on, like over DM rather than via email. And it's just like one of those whoever has the link can see it kind of things. Okay, so yeah, we're going up is this the thermal. That's we're going up inspired by the song Golden. They call it a true white to black thermal with different shades of gold flakes. And so it is as with all thermals, the cool tends to be a little bit sheerer, or the warm rather tends to be a little bit sheerer than the cool. With both of these thermals, they're pretty darned opaque in 2 coats, but I prefer to wear them in 3, so I am going to put them in 3. I think I'm going to put everything in 3. Am I making more accounts for more storage space? No. No, I actually have different functional accounts for different things. But yeah, if it's something like this where someone has just sent me a link, then it's just going to be in whichever one I happen to be logged into. Okay, so the second one here it's a takedown. So this is a sheer magenta. This one's a very jelly base, so it's got that like super sort of sheer candy thing going on with it. But because Arcana is pretty darn good at jellies at this point, it does go on really nice and even. So you can definitely pretty easily get away with doing a shearer application where you're not necessarily actually like doing a full opacity coverage and have it still actually look really nice. You know what I mean? Because sometimes there's ones that like the way they go on is kind of patchy, and so you don't want it. You need the VNL or you need the VNL coverage just to be able to avoid having it look patchy and shitty. But if it's a really nice even coverage, then it feels less important to have full opacity. But like it is quite, it's a pretty opaque polish. It's always going to be a little bit translucent. It never really quite all the way builds up because it is a true jelly. So it's a takedown. And then the next one, this is the magnetic. So this is a sort of, it's sort of in the vein of the shrimp and other related polishes. It's a holographic magnetic, and then there's a blue shimmer in this one, and that soft sort of rose base. They describe it as a dusty pink base with blue to purple and holographic magnetic pigments. So I'm gonna do it on here. Did I say this one's called Beauty in the Broken Glass? I'm going to do it on here with the cat eye, and then I'll do velvet on my nails. The song inspiration for this is What It Sounds Like. Now Takedown is playing in your head. Yeah, sometimes it's true, Ray. I agree with you. Ray says sometimes jellies look so weird and darkened, but not opaque on the nail. But this looks really pretty. I feel like I get that feeling more often when it's like blues and greens and stuff, that they look weird when they're not fully opaque. But with things like pinks, it doesn't bother me so much for some reason, and I don't know why that is. You're late, you're here, but not queer. All right, Ashley. Sassy, I gotta tell you, I don't actually know. I don't know that song. I have not seen the movie yet. I totally just dinged this nail. I'm doing a really good job. I have not seen it yet, and I only know the songs that I have heard on Instagram that are playing like frickin' constantly, which basically means I only know Golden. Yeah, I totally just freaking smudged. I'm just gonna do a quick little dabby repair here to try and make that slightly less stupid. Yeah, I'm sure other people in the chat know what you're talking about. It wasn't for me. All right. I don't know if that's better or worse. It's probably worse. Hopefully by the time we get 3 coats on, it'll be fine and it won't matter. Your son is going to be a character from the movie for... Is this for Halloween? I assume you mean for Halloween. He's going to be an evil Saja boy. Is it Saja? Is that how they say that? Again, I have not seen. I'm assuming it's Saja. Every time I see it written out, I think of Soulja Boy. Because I'm old. I can't help it. All right. So there's 1 coat of Beauty in the Broken Glass Velvet. Get that hollow. Not getting a whole lot of the blue shimmer in this lighting. A little bit of it. I really like the blue shimmer in this one, though. It's very delicate. Yeah, exactly, Sassy. You got me. Oh, you assumed it was a play on Soulja Boy? I mean, it might be. I wouldn't know. It definitely is immediately what I thought of as soon as I saw it. He's gonna play it. He's gonna wear the same costume for your local anime con. Nice. Ghislaine, happy Thursday. Welcome. I'm gonna make everybody jealous and tell them that I got to meet Ghislaine recently because she lives near me, and we got to go hang out and drink coffee in a local cafe, and we ended up chatting for hours, and it was really lovely. And now she's been invited over to my house to steal nail polish and help me organize my collection. Yeah, the holomagnetics always get me too. They're such a problem. They really, and they look so, I feel like all of the holomagnetics look just so tasty in the velvet form. They're all beautiful no matter how you do them, but something about the holomagnetics in velvet that just really gets me. Okay, the last one in this quad is I Don't Talk But I Bite. The song it's inspired by is How It's Done. And they describe this as a light blue base with fine purple to red shimmer, small teal flakes, and rose gold flakes. Yeah, she's gonna get to meet Timony Cricket if she comes over here. And also Jammy Dodgers. She may or may not see Cinnamon or Budgie, though, because the two of them really don't love visitors so much. They're not into humans. Okay, so there's our first coat down. Oh, I need to also put this on my fingernail. Yeah, I agree. It's totally different from non-magnetic hollow, and it's really like it's also totally different from like a silver magnetic like topper or whatever. It's just it vibes like a whole other unique thing. Okay, so there's our first coat. And then the other hand, we're going to do our first coat of the... Wait, should we do all 3 coats of the one and then move over to the other hand? What makes more sense? Am I more or less likely to screw things up if I'm switching bottles in between each coat? No, let's go ahead and switch it over. Gives us more time for everything to dry. It'll be fine. I'll just be careful, she said. Okay. So, once again, we are starting. So this is the second quad is going to be the Cottagecore quad. And then again, we're starting with a thermal. We don't have a magnetic in the Cottagecore quad. It's 3 shimmers and a thermal. I asked 3 different questions. Yeah, but I was asking them of myself, so it's fine. I'm allowed to ask myself too many questions. Y'all are, I think, quoting lyrics. And I haven't seen the movie, but I'm glad you're having a good time. So, okay, so this one is Them Bones, and it is, probably not surprisingly, inspired by old bones. Dirty old bones, animal skulls and whatnot found in the woods, covered in dust and dirt. And this one is an off-white to gray. So the other one was a white to black. This one is just like a much softer version. And then instead of the gold flakes that we have in the other one, in this we have iridescent flakes. I'm not sure. Are they all blue? Yeah, iridescent silver blue flakes. So my nails on this hand are a little bit on the short side, and I've somehow managed to get a little bit of nail polish on my pinky where I was about to put this. I do want to just get that off real quick because I don't want to have a big pink blob right in the middle of my pretty thermal nail. Try and just get that off without disturbing the base coat too much, if possible. All right. You want comparisons with previous Arcana mags? Absolutely, we can do that after this watching. I think there's one of the pink ones that I think I didn't ever get. But there's at least one of the light ones that I have. It's a little bit more peachy, I think. But yeah, I can take a look at the other ones that I have of the Arcana Hollow Magnetics. Yeah, I also really adore this one. This was actually my favorite. I think out of both quads, this one turned out to be my favorite, Them Bones. It's so soft. It's just such a soft and delicate and lovely thermal. And it just, I don't know, it just makes me happy. The flakes are just really nice and soft and pretty, and they build beautifully. And yeah, I don't know. It's just nice. It's very autumnal. Second one is foraged. So this one is a little bit deceptive. In some of the photos, especially in my photos, I notice on me, it does pull quite red. And that's partly due to my undertones and partly due to my lighting really pulling out the shimmer. It is more of a muted browny orange sort of base. So they describe it as a muted brown orange with red to orange shimmer. So depending on the person, this one's going to look really different. On some people, it looks super orange. And in some light, not like, I don't mean super orange like it looks like it's a bright orange. I mean, it looks definitely like it's orange. You would never mistake it for red on some people. On me, you could definitely mistake it for red, at least in some lighting. So I think with this one, if you are unsure about or really picky about reds and oranges, and you're not sure how well this is going to work for you, you really want to look at all the swatches, find someone who's like a decent skin tone match for you, because it's going to make a huge difference. This one really changes. And I'm sure, if you've been looking at people's swatches of this, you'll have noticed that it really looks a lot more red in some than in others. But it is very much the base of it is very much like I would call it sort of a bricky color, like a brownish, almost caramelish bricky color. Already you can see one coat on me versus one coat on the swatch stick. It looks so much redder on me, just like immediately. Your favorite candy, sweet tarts, skulls and bones. Oh yeah, those are tasty. I do like sweet tarts. I have a thing for those, anything that's like a compressed fine powder sugar that is also tart. So like Smarties, American Smarties, Canadian Smarties are completely different. They have chocolate. It's like a whole different candy. Yeah, and like the sweet tarts and all those kinds of things. I really like them. I like them a lot. Ray, specifically the mushroom one. I think I know which one you're talking about. I will definitely pull some comparisons. In Canada, they're rockets, right? Molly asks, what is the life expectancy because you know that they die for thermals? So thermals can be touchy because it does very much depend on storage conditions, right? So you have to take a lot of things into account. In general, I do not like to purchase thermals in summertime, because exposure to high heat seems to trigger failure more than exposure to extreme cold. They seem to survive okay with cold for some reason. They don't die as quickly. But if they're going through a lot of temperature fluctuations, so if you're keeping them in a place where they're going to be exposed to conditions where they're switching back and forth in the bottle between the cold state and the warm state, that's going to promote faster degradation of the thermal pigment. So you can definitely keep them in the refrigerator. I would say anytime you're planning on keeping a polish in the fridge, though, it's a good idea to give them some time after taking them out of the refrigerator. Let them sit at room temperature for a while. So, if you want to do a polish with, or a mani with a polish that you've kept in the fridge, take it out earlier in the day, let it come to room temperature before opening it. That would be best practice. But yeah, you can definitely keep them in the fridge. I personally don't. My room here doesn't fluctuate too much. It will get up a little bit higher sometimes in the summertime. We have the windows open, but it doesn't get into what I would consider to be extreme heat. So far, none of the thermals that I've gotten from Arcana have died yet. Trying to remember when, I guess it was last summer that I first started getting thermals from Arcana. When's the first time I got thermals from Arcana? I think last summer. And yeah, none of them have died yet. In general, if you have reasonable storage conditions, you'll usually get a couple of years out of them. Sometimes freak accidents happen. Most brands will, make you whole if it's been like less than a year or something. But I also have some thermals that are like 5 years old and they still work just fine. So it's a little unpredictable, unfortunately, is the thing. It's a little unpredictable. But the best you can do is to keep it out of any kind of temperature fluctuations, keep it out of extreme heat, and just try and give it a nice, stable, cool lifestyle. And it should last for a good long time. Yeah, Texas is hot all the time. But if you're like most Texans, you probably keep your AC cranked. Yeah, in your case, I would probably store it in the fridge. If if you're not a person that keeps your AC cranked all the time, I would probably store it in the fridge. Just because it definitely, if it's exposed to extreme heat, it's going to have problems. Okay, so the next one is Little Froggy Pond, and I fell in love with this one immediately because, of course, I did, because it's kind of a pruggly green. And I love me a pruggly green. I really love how desaturated this one is, though. It's definitely green. No one's going to mistake it for anything other than green. But it's so soft. It's so muted. It's like I don't know. I think they call it a pea green. Pardon me. Yeah, they call it a creamy pea green with pink to yellow shimmer. I don't know if I agree with the pea green description. It definitely feels lichen-y to me. You know what I mean? It's got that soft, I don't know. And I think they said it's inspired by a moss-colored pond. And I just think it's real cute. It's really pretty. It's a very fine shimmer, so it does have a little bit of that pearly kind of quality to it, which means it can get a little bit brush strokey. So you'll want to float it. I don't know why I put that away. I haven't put it on my finger yet. Yes, it is a little swampy. I agree. But yeah, it's a pruggly, but it's a real soft, pretty pruggly. It barely deserves the name pruggly, but I understand that most people would consider it one. It's not like a traditionally sort of attractive color, but I absolutely love it. Also, all three of really I should say all four of these I found, at least in the cold state, totally opaque in 3 coats, most of the way opaque in 2 coats. I think if you don't have a super aggressive nail line, if you don't have long nails, or if you don't mind a little bit of visible nail line, then 2 coats is absolutely definitely going to be plenty for this whole collection, for sure. Both collections, I think. The only one that maybe you might want a 3rd coat of is this one. And really, like I said, when I swatched that one, I feel like it's so juicy. I don't mind being able to see a little visible nail line with it, but yeah, the combination of a warm shimmer and green always comes off pruggly. I agree. But I love that combo. I'm a total sucker for that combo. The last one in the Cottagecore quad is Between the Pages, and this one's inspired by pressed flowers in a book. So this one, the official description is dusty rose pink with soft blue, almost silver to purple pearl shimmer. So again, we're going to have that super fine shimmer that's got a pearlescent sort of quality as opposed to the sparklier sort of look that you get from a slightly coarser shimmer. So, for instance, Foraged has a little bit larger particle shimmer than these two. These are both the sort of super fine, almost pearl or slightly pearl. Mei, you have arrived. Welcome. Hello. I keep putting my polish away before putting it on my nail. My little freaking itty bitty little pinky nails. They're like, one stroke, you're close enough. I didn't get it perfectly around the edges, but like, whatever, it's fine. And I did manage to get a little bit on my skin. There we go. Okay. Let me give you to Jammy Dodgers while I take a look for those comparisons. Okay, so I have Trip Through the Woods, which was the requested comparison for Beauty and the Broken Glass. So, oh, Mysticorn as well. Hang on. Mysticorn, of course, is much more purple. And has a flake. So, pretty different. But we will do the comparison, and I will start it now so that we can do multiple coats so you can really see. Yeah, Trip is definitely much closer. Okay, so first, Beauty and the Broken Glass. This is the new one from We Are Hunters, coming out tomorrow. Definitely a rosy sort of dusty pink color. Trip Through the Woods, much more of like a peachy tone. Very similar otherwise. They both have the blue shimmer, although I think it's a different blue shimmer. I think that Trip Through the Woods is a little bit more like larger particle and sort of a bluer blue. And then Mysticorn, very much a purple with a flake, as well as the magnetic. So there is our first coat, and we will come back to those so you can see how they build up, because they'll look more different as they build up. Mei, you got to boop all the kitties? Yay. I hope they all enjoyed their booping. Do let me know if there are other Arcanas that you want to see comparisons for with any of these. Just holler at me. All right, so heading back over to do second coat of the We Are Hunters collection. Just do a little rearranging here. So we're going up the thermal. Do our second coat on the nail here. And I do think this one, a lot of people are going to be, whoops, that's too much. A lot of people are going to be fine with this in 2 coats. I prefer it in 3 because I do run hot. And so I almost always have predominantly the warm state, which is a little sheerer, as is usually the case with thermals. So for me personally, I prefer to have a little bit extra, like another extra coat, just to help out with that opacity when it's warm. And get that second coat on the wheel here, so that I have this for my reference. I have not been doing this for every collection, and I haven't been doing it for that long, but it has been helpful when I've remembered to do it. So, how does the new one compare to Crown of Wildflower? I don't have Crown of Wildflowers. That one, that's the pinky pink one, right? It's like really pink. I do not have that one. Yeah, I also remember it being darker than Mysticorn, but like very much a pink. Eat, Sleep, Photosynthesize, I think I have. Yeah. So Eat, Sleep, Photosynthesize needs to be shaken. Apparently. I did good. I did really, really good. So it's much greener. Let me do a quick swipe out here. Yeah, Eat, Sleep, Photosynthesize is much more of like an emerald or Kelly kind of. It's a green. It does not have any yellowishness in it whatsoever, and it's also very much a jelly. You can see it has a much more sort of bluish tone to it. That'll become more obvious as it builds up, so we'll get another coat on that and you'll see. Arcana's color finish filters need updating. On their website, you mean? I don't think I've tried looking at their website to see what colors they are. Oh, you're trying to look at their magnetics and it's missing half of them? Oh dear. You should let them know, because I'm sure that they will want to do that. I know that they've both been ridiculously busy the past little while. So they may have just not had time to update. But all right, here's the second coat of oh gosh, what is this one called? I should remember it. It's a takedown. So again, as I was saying with this one, it's not like completely opaque in 2 coats, but I'm not mad at the little bit of visible nail line that you have, because it's just such a juicy, it's like a real juicy jelly kind of one. And I feel like, for me at least, like, this doesn't look weird the way that sometimes a very pigmented jelly can look weird if it's not opaque enough. I don't get that feeling from this. For this one, I'm completely fine with this in 2 coats. I will go ahead and throw a 3rd coat on for people, because I know a lot of people do want to see what the total, like, 100% opaque sort of vibe is for a lot of these. It's a really good pink. I agree. But yeah, you can see it's definitely, if you have like a really dark nail line, then you may want to have a 3rd coat of it. Make sure I'm grabbing the correct one here. This is not it. This is a Trip Through the Woods. Please do not swatch a Trip Through the Woods on top of Beauty in the Broken Glass. Okay, so 2nd coat of Beauty in the Broken Glass. This is the only magnetic from these quads. It is a holomagnetic. It is a softer pull, so you don't tend to get the super sharp line with these. I personally feel like they look best velvet, which is how I am doing it on myself here. They also look fantastic in the glass bead style. If you're one of the crazy people that has immediately gone and come up with some kind of glass bead rig, which of course I am. I have now, I think, 3 options, and I want more because none of them is perfect. I'm still looking for my unicorn glass bead rig. So Beauty in the Broken Glass, 2nd coat. Again, not 100% opaque. When you're in the velvet, it's gonna look more opaque when the magnetic pigment is at the forefront, less opaque when it's off at the side. And then the last one for this quad is I Don't Talk But I Bite. And here's 2nd coat. And you can see it's like most of the way opaque there in the 2nd coat, but not quite all the way. You're planning another design, but it's gonna need more unprinted parts. That's all right. I kind of want to try the design that Alyssa has. But I also kind of just want to get Rachel to print me a replacement for my gelato tub. I feel like that's what I'm ultimately going to be happiest with. You're about to buy a magnetic stirrer for glass bead because it just seems easiest. But with the magnetic stirrers, don't you have to have your finger upside down over top of it? I feel like that would annoy me. I don't know. That might just be me. I feel like for me, I would have a harder time hovering my nail at the right distance above. Plus, it's something that you have to plug in, and I'm unwilling to plug in more things. I don't have space to plug in more things. There's no way that's going to happen in my space. Okay, switching these back over again. Oh, I should also do the 2nd coat of these guys. So, comparing Beauty in the Broken Glass with previous collection magnetics. So that's Beauty in the Broken Glass. This one is Trip Through the Woods from the Found and Foraged collection, which was all like mushroom inspired. And then Mysticorn from the Unicorns collection. Which is definitely a more purple vibe and has the flakes in addition to the magnetic. But yeah, I think it's a lot easier to see once it's like built up a bit how different the base colors are for those. You're currently watching K-pop Demon Hunters, Lainey? Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be increasing your temptation. I'm not actually that sorry. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our second coat of Them Bones. I wish that I had not... I broke a couple of nails on my right hand, and so I'm back down to a little bit shorter length, which unfortunately just means that I don't have as much free edge for the thermal to be obvious on. And because I do run oh so very hot, it tends to mean that you don't really get to see much of the cool state on my hand once it's been on there long enough to dry. But at least you'll be able to see it on the swatch stick or swatch ring, I guess. Whatever you want to call this. Wheel. It's a wheel, right? We call this a wheel. I'm doing good. I hear Jammy Dodgers sort of snoring a little bit over there. Okay, so that's the second coat. And then second coat of Foraged. So this is the one that's inspired by mushrooms. And I do think with this one too, like, because all of the red tone is coming from the shimmer, if you want it to look more red than building up an extra coat, will give you more of that shimmer. But, and, you know, conversely, if you'd rather have more of the orangey tone, then just don't put so much. Like, do one coat less, as long as you're okay with the visible nail line. But it's honestly amazing to me. Like, it looks redder on me than it does on the wheel. It's subtle, but it looks redder on me than it does on the wheel. And it looks redder on me than it does on almost anybody else that I saw swatch it. Maybe everybody. Which I just think is very funny. Okay, Little Froggy Pond. My second favorite, I think, in the collection. I don't know. It's hard to really pick because I really love Foraged and I really love Little Froggy Pond and I really love the other thermal, We're Going Up. Them Bones is definitely number one for me though. Absolutely number one. Oh hey, I should put this on here first and then do the comparison one. So there's Little Froggy Pond, second coat. And then we will do the comparison here between Little Froggy Pond and Eat, Sleep, Photosynthesize from an earlier collection. Now, not only is the green a much brighter green, but also the shimmer on Eat, Sleep, Photosynthesize actually shifts into purple. It has quite a wide shift from like orangey colors through red into purple, whereas Little Froggy Pond is very much just like orange through sort of a gold color. It's a narrower shift range. But yeah, I think they're really quite different. So if you have one, you it's not a dupe. Definitely not a dupe. Yeah, I'm extremely cool toned. I'm wildly cool toned. I'm blue, basically. I mean, I think my lighting here is fairly accurate. At least looking at what I'm seeing on my phone, my lighting here is fairly accurate. It looks maybe slightly yellower. But yeah, like if you look at my veins, they are so very blue and purple. I'm very, very cool toned. So yeah, stuff looks different on me than it will on someone who's very warm toned. Okay, and then the last one in the quad here is Between the Pages. This is the one that is inspired by pressed flowers. There we go. And again, this one and Little Froggy Pond both have that much finer pearlescent shimmer. So there's second coat, and I think a lot of people with these two in particular, and maybe to a lesser extent with Forage, are going to be fine with 2 coats. Unless you have like a really aggressive nail line, I do feel like it's pretty good in 2. And certainly like just in regular lighting, you know, like we're in some pretty intense lighting here. In regular lighting, a lot of the time I find the nail light, the visible nail line issue is less acute. Tends to come out more when the light is extremely bright. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be happy with just 2 coats on these ones. But I will do a 3rd coat on all of them just so you can see how they build up. I have a freaking phorid fly. Damn it. Little bastard. Get out of here. You're not supposed to like nail polish. Dang bugs. Oh no, now you have to add it to your wish list since it's not a dupe. I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry, but I'll say I am if it'll make you feel better. Okay. 3rd coat. Let's swap back in to the We Are Hunters. I managed to ding this. Got a nice, good, big smudge there. And I also did a really bad job of painting the 2nd coat, so you can see a whole ass stripe down the side. But that's okay. This is really, the stick is really just, or the wheel is really just for me, so that later on I can see them at a glance. So that's 3 coats, cold state, of we're going up. I'm like, the song is golden. What is the actual name of the polish? Because the name of the polish is not golden. But it immediately puts that song in my head. Okay, 3rd coat. And she does change pretty quick on me. We have drastically different undertones, but our tastes are the same. You hope you get someone with very different tastes in the gift exchange. You didn't think of that until just now. Yeah, that's the thing with those D-stash exchanges, is like, you really want to be paired with somebody who like hates the color that you love, and vice versa. Like, that's optimal. Like, I really hope I get paired with someone who's just obsessed with like purples If I get someone who loves purples and that's purple is like their favorite, they're going to be so happy. So all my, like 90% of my D stash is purples. It will be dangerous, but I'll tell you what, if I do get you in the D stash exchange, Ashley, I'm going to be willing to make sacrifices for you. I have like 1,000 polishes. I can destash ones that I love. It's fine. I'll be fine. Don't give all your purples away. Well, fucking come visit me and take the purples, damn it. All right. Third coat, and you can really see here what I was saying, that this is very much a true jelly. It is not going to come fully opaque. It is never going to happen. It is a true jelly base. But it does get some super intense color and shimmer. Boy, I really did do a good job of dinging this nail. The very first coat, I managed to really do such a good job. And it's like it's all textured now in that area. Try and like smush it down a little bit flatter before I do this last coat. Ashley doesn't have to visit me. Well, that's because I'm doing a D-stash. It's like a formal thing before Christmas that I signed up for. So there's pressure. There has to be pressure for me to actually mail something by a certain time. The double standard is atrocious. It's true. Just do art over it, but I'm going to do art on the thumb. I left my thumb naked specifically for art. All right. So that's 3 coats on there. And again, you can definitely see some nail line through there, but it's such an intense, beautiful color that I don't give a shit. And if you give a shit, then I guess that's your problem. Don't buy that one. Oh, no, Leo, that's not... What you want to do in that case is, like, just hold off and join the D-stash next year, or tell the organizer to manually pair you with someone who has stuff that will like what you have. You don't need another pink with blue shimmer? Well, sorry about your luck. It sucks to be you. You're gonna be forced to have it now. By watching this, you're actually contractually obligated to purchase it. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's a sad thing. You're not. It's a lie. It's a lie. Never buy something just because you see it on somebody's stream or socials and they like it. You need to make good purchasing decisions for yourself. And not end up with 1,000 polishes with a bunch of dupes. You get pinks as mysteries and you don't wear pink at all. Yeah. The name of, I assume you mean this one here. It's a takedown. So they're calling it a sheer magenta base with different sized blue to purple shimmers. And it is inspired by the song Takedown from K-Pop Demon Hunters. This is the K-Pop Demon Hunters hand. And these all release tomorrow. And I will do my disclaimer again now. It's a great time to do my disclaimer. I did receive these for free. I was paid to produce swatch photos for the brand Arcana Lacquer. So all usual disclaimers about me being biased because they give me stuff for free. But if it sucked, I would tell you, I promise. You'd be able to tell. You'd be able to look at it and be like, Peggy, why are you saying this is great when it clearly applies like shit? But these don't. These apply really nicely. You can see it for yourself. Okay, and then Ruby sent you 2 to 3 pinks with blue shimmers, all different. Yeah. I'm the same, Leo. I don't wear a ton of pink. I do wear pink. I would say I wear pink more often than I wear purple. But purple I pretty much mostly only tend to wear if it's the base for nail art that really demands purple, or if it's like a birthday mani for somebody who loves purple, that's pretty much when I'm going to pull out my purples. But for myself, I tend to not pull purples, and I tend to not really purchase purples. Pardon me. And with pinks, I am slightly more likely to wear them for myself, but not really by that much. So I try not to buy pinks unless they're really special, because I just know that I'm not likely to actually purchase them, or I'm not likely to actually wear them that much. All right, so that is 3 coats of the We Are Hunters quad with the middle nail, just so banged up from that first coat. I really did a number on that one. And there it is on the wheel. And now we can set that toward the back and do the 3rd coat of the Cottagecore quad. You're the same with purples? Yeah, not having the colors you need for nail art is a problem. I will say, almost all of the purples and pinks and reds actually as well that I purchased in my first year or 2 of nail polish were just because they were in a rainbow collection. Literally the only purples that I owned for a long time were Holo Taco Rainbow Collection purples. Like the OG rainbow, the pastel rainbow. By the time the dark one came out, I had others from other stuff. But yeah, it's really, it's a thing. But then I discovered that actually, no, I do require them sometimes for nail art. And actually, one of the very first magnetics I ever bought is quite purple dominant. That was when I was brand new to indies. It was my first PPU polish purchase, actually. It was a purple magnetic, but it's very shifty. Okay, so that's the 3rd coat of them bones. Again, this is my absolute favorite. Can you please focus? Would you mind? Thank you. This is my absolute favorite. I love this one so much. I actually posted, a few weeks ago in my stories, I posted a picture of me wearing this color and playing in the sink in my kitchen because I run so hot. And I was playing with cold water, and it was just instantly changing to gray, instantly changing back to white, instantly gray, instantly white, although it's actually off-white. It's interesting. It sort of builds up very close to my skin tone. Just like a slightly less saturated version of my skin tone. ILNP makes a great autumn collection. I believe you. I don't tend to go to their website for whatever reason. I'm very much like a tiny indie buyer. All right, so this is our third coat of Foraged. This is the one that is inspired by mushrooms. Yeah, Jamie left. I don't know. Oh, she seems to be possibly considering settling down in the cockpit chair. If she does, then I will move the cat cam over to see her there. So you can see as it has built up the shimmer, even on the stick, it starts to get a little bit redder. But it's still redder on me. It's always going to be redder on me. But yeah, it's very much like a bricky brownish orange base. And it's just that shimmer that's making it so red. Little Froggy Pond. Coat number 3. Probably unnecessary for most people. But we're going to put it on anyway. I really like, with Little Froggy Pond and also Between the Pages, they're both like this super, super creamy texture to the polish. It's like, it really feels like applying a creme for some reason. It just doesn't look like a creme. It feels like applying a creme. So there's the third coat of Little Froggy Pond. You're seeing mostly the sort of more pinky part of the shimmer here, but it does shift to more of a yellowy goldy kind of color, which I think you can kind of see as I wiggle it. And then last one, Between the Pages. A little too much there. There we go. Third coat. Ta-da! Okay. It looks like Jamie has settled down in the cockpit chair, so I'm going to do a little rearranging here. I'll leave it minimized so that you're not getting dizzy. Where are we at there? That looks... There she is. There's my good girl. She's like, damn it, Mom. I was trying to get off camera. I did not want to be perceived. Such a good grumpy little lady. It's true, she cannot escape us. All right. I'm gonna get a little drink of water here, and then we can do a little bit of nail art. If I were smart, which I am not, I would have gotten a stamping plate out for my cottagecore hand before painting my nails. But like I said, I'm not. Okay. Let's see here. I gotta have some mushrooms somewhere in here, right? I feel like I gotta have some mushrooms somewhere in here. I mean, if not, I could always just freehand something, but... there's kind of a mushroom there. Some succulents. It's interesting. I don't really seem to have mushrooms. so much. Do I have mushrooms on a bug plate? Maybe. Let's check my bug plates. Y'all, how do I not have just a whole lot of mushroom plates? You know what? I think I do have mushroom plates, and they're just a brand that I'm not willing to use on stream. So I have exactly one mushroom design. On this Nicole Diary plate that desperately needs to be cleaned. So let me give this a little clean off. What I guess we gotta figure out what we want to do with it. So the design is actually over here. Don't really need to clean off the rest of that to use it, but I'm gonna. Okay. Whoop. So, use a magnet to find a stamping plate. That seems dangerous. It seems almost as dangerous as just going through my stamping plates, to be perfectly honest. Also, are the stamping plates even magnetic? I am unconvinced. They're not. They're not magnetic. It wouldn't work. You know what would work is forceps. Big fan of forceps. Okay. Manuscript has 2 mushroom plates. I think I probably need to buy some manuscript mushroom plates. The problem is I don't stamp that often. But when I do stamp, it's usually on stream. And when I'm on stream, I'm the ones that I like over half of my plates are from a brand that I refuse to use on stream. So I'm like, do I want to invest in some more plates from a different brand when really the only time I ever stamp most of the time is on stream? I don't know. Like it's... I do really like the manuscript plates though. All right, so this is the design right here. I feel like it needs to shrink a little bit to get on my nail, so I am going to be using my shrinking stamper. And I'm thinking... Do I want to do a green background? Or, no, you know what? I want to use the thermal background. If I use the thermal background, then I can use the foraged for the mushroom cap. I can use little froggy pond for the little plants. And I can use between the pages for the crystal. And I think that'll be cute. Oh, you can't see that at all. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think that'll work out well. And then because the stems will be on the part of my nail that's going to definitely always for sure be warm, they'll already kind of be whitish. So I think that works well. And I'll stamp in black. And I'm thinking maybe a not quite full expansion. Maybe we could do like halfway. So this shrinking stamper, there's a little bit of like a range of how much you can make it shrink. And I think I don't want to shrink it quite 100% of the way. All right. hopefully this picks up well. Some of these Nicole Diary plates, I find some of the designs can be a little bit finicky, but oh yeah. Using an actual stamping polish goes a long way to helping that finickiness. Okay. So take that right off of there since we're shrinking. I don't need to do any cleanup on that. I do need to paint a base on my nails. So let me get this out of the way because I'm definitely going to get polish on the side of my hand if I leave that there. So we'll get a base on here and then we'll start coloring in that thing. And somebody had mentioned they had an idea for nail art for the other hand, for the We Are Hunters hand. Which might have involved the tiger. Oh my god, I am so bad at painting with my other hand. All right. You've been experimenting with your resizer. I really like having access to it. It's definitely very helpful. It expands your options a lot. Because, like, I could fit this whole design on the other hand, but not on this hand. There's no way without resizing it. Not a chance. All right, I think we'll leave those. I don't know if I want to do them white or if I just want to leave them so that they can change with whatever is happening thermally. I think I might just leave them. Oop. Well, that one got covered over. Oh well. You know, we don't demand perfection here. We hope for good enough, especially during streams. But the rest of the time too. I'm mostly just hoping for good enough. You can't be too hard on yourself for making little mistakes, especially when it's just funsies. It's just art. None of this shit is life or death. All right, so there's our little mushroom caps. And then I need some you have an idea for We Are Hunters. I can draw / stamp heels, nails, blade, mascara because that's song lyrics. I don't have any word stamps, and that's a lot of letters. That would be very small. I don't know about that. I lost my cap. There it is. Both mushroom plates are email signups. What does that mean? Explain. Oh, not the literal words? Okay. I don't know, man. I mean, you have expectations, Sassy. I don't know what you think I can do. All right, so for this, we've got those little leaves. Is that the only thing that we want to do green? It doesn't seem like using very much green, does it? Maybe the Maybe the crystals can be pink and green. That might work. Like if some of the faces are green and most of the faces are pink. I feel like that could be kind of cute. Yeah, so like what if some of these faces that are in shadow were green? Kind of dig that. Don't want to do too many of them though. I want it to be just like an occasional sort of pop of a different color. You know what I mean? There we go. I think that's probably enough green faces. Yeah, I would be able to draw those things, yes. You can see why I thought you meant the words though, Sassy. That would have been a lot. Gidge, hello. Welcome. I'm doing a little stamping on my non-dominant hand to go with the collection that I've been showing off here, which I can go through all the details of again in a few minutes. But I want to get this painted, then I want to get a second coat of the thermal base down on that nail that's going to have this. And then we can go through the collection again. For anybody that missed all the stuff earlier. I will say as I'm painting this, once again, because I have to say this multiple times throughout a stream, to make sure that everybody knows that I did receive both of these sets, both of these quads. I was paid to produce swatch photos of them. And so I obviously also did not pay for the polish myself. They gave me the polish. And so this part of things, the part where I'm telling you about it, I don't get paid for this, but I did receive the polish itself for free. That's important information for y'all to have. All right, so that's what we're going to do on my thumb. We'll let that dry. We'll get my second coat of this thermal. And you see how hot I run? Like, it's ridiculous. I need ice packs, I swear. All right. Painting with the non-dominant hand, always a fun adventure. I think I'm probably going to want a third coat just to even things out because of how bad I am at painting with my non-dominant hand. But while that's drying, this hand is the Arcana Lacquer Cottagecore quad. You can also see the thermal in the cold state here. Get this out of here so that this will focus, hopefully. There we go. So these four, that's the thermal in its cold state. This is the quad. You can see it looks more red. This orange one looks more red on my hand. These are all sort of autumn themed shades that are releasing tomorrow. So this is Them Bones, Foraged, Little Froggy Pond, and Between the Pages. So these release tomorrow evening. And on my swatching hand, we have the We Are Hunters collection. And this one's inspired by K-pop Demon Hunters. And I don't remember all the names for these. The thermal is We're Going Up. This one is It's a Takedown. This is a magnetic, so it's a hollow magnetic I've got in velvet style here. This is Beauty in the Broken Glass. And I also have this done here with a cat eye magnet. And then the last one here is I don't talk, but I bite. So that's the We Are Hunters quad, also releasing tomorrow evening. All right. So actually that ends up looking pretty even. I'm so glad they have a forgiving formula, because boy, am I ever bad at painting with my other hand. A really fun thing is when I do when I paint with on my dominant hand with my non-dominant hand with a thermal that is very dark in the cold state and very light in the warm state, and I think I've cleaned everything up around the edges right up until I try and take like cold photos of it, and then I can suddenly see all kinds of color and I go, ooh, I did a bad job of cleanup. All right, so we're gonna put this on this thumbnail. I think we can probably do it now. What do you think? Should we risk it? Let's risk it. Let's do it. There we go. We did it. I'm gonna have to clean up those drips. Yeah, no red tonight, Gidge. Sorry. There is the orange that pulls extremely red on me, but it is definitely an orange. Yeah, if you got Gidge in a polish exchange, that would be great. You will have some time, Molly. So Arcana doesn't have... They tend to stock quite well. You don't have to necessarily be on the website instantly when they open. Some popular shades do tend to sell out quickly. I've definitely seen stuff sell out within an hour or so of them opening, but they restock. Anything that goes fast, they restock as soon as they're able to restock. And very popular shades, they'll restock multiple times. So, you know, for instance, there's one, My Life as a Shrimp, that has been restocked literally dozens of times at this point. Because it continues to sell out every time they restock it. So yeah, they're very good about keeping things restocked. If it looks like people want to buy it, they want to sell it to you. They would like to do that. They're not in the business of trying to create more FOMO. So yeah, so you don't have to worry too much. It is possible that that some of the shades will sell out fairly quickly, though. If you're concerned about getting all of them all at once, then maybe you want to be there right away when it opens. But yeah, it's not like you have to panic about it, because if you miss it, you'll never get another chance again. I don't love that approach to things. Okay, let's get a little top coat on here. I think the ones that typically tend to actually sell out fast are like the shrimp siblings that are in really dramatic colors and stuff. I've seen those sell out kind of fast a couple of times. But yeah, mostly it's not a major concern. Okay, what was the other idea that someone had? I've got one idea from Sassy for painting, I think, heels, nails, a blade, and something else. That isn't suspenders, but my brain has decided that suspenders has to be what it was, because it was a longer word that might have started with an S. Listen, I'm not in charge of what my brain decides. It just makes shit up. But somebody else had another idea that was something to do with the tiger. Like way near the beginning. Who was that? Speak up. I can't scroll that far. Oh, mascara. Mascara, suspenders. It's the same. God, I love my brain. It's so good. That's a really good brain. All right. Let's screw this down. So we're not going to need that again. Derpy the tiger. Tiger hiding behind a thermal. Peekaboo Derpy tiger. Okay. Let me look up Derpy. I kind of remember what Derpy looks like, but... And the bird's name, the magpie's name is Sussy. Is that correct? Why are they Derpy and Sussy? They're like such good names. Okay. Derpy tiger. He is really cute. The question is, I feel like this might be... Is it going to be a little too opaque, or do you think it'll work? It might be a little too opaque. Let's do a little test. Use this one. The makers and cast named them. I think that's so silly. Okay. So if I painted like a little tiger face. Dude's got so many eyebrows. And then like little eyes. This is obviously just so bad. I just want to kind of get a vague sort of what's going to be on there. Of course, the problem is it's going to be real cold. Gonna have to try and like super warm it. I gotta heat it up with my superheated skin. Give it a second. Hopefully it'll warm up enough. The silicone does tend to have a bit of an insulating effect, but it should, I think, warm up enough. You think the tiger would keep me here all night? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be a little too opaque. Just from what I think the big problem is actually the flakes. But what I can do is do the thermal in the background and then do the tiger like peeking up. Like what if I did the thermal and then did the tiger over top, just peeking up here, so it's just like the top of his head and his eyes. That could be cute. And I can use the blue from this collection for him. And then just add cremes for the eyes. I feel like that works. Plus it kind of is nice to have like the thermal on both thumbs. I mean, not that I'm going anywhere. Nobody except y'all are likely to see this, Manny. I might post it. Actually, I might post it. If it turns out well, I'll probably post it. All right, so let me find a good reference photo of him. I want something that's a little bit more cartoony and simplified rather than screenshots from the actual movie. That works. Okay. Whose is this? Somebody on Miss Louvre in Montreal, Quebec made this very cute fan art that they posted on Facebook, and I'm going to use it as my reference. So let me find this. Yes. Okay. Look. Very cute little fan art. I'm going to use this as my reference. And I probably won't have like the paws. I probably won't even have the teeth in there. I'm probably going to be cutting it off. So it's like, whoops. Don't do that. Ah, don't do that. Stop moving that part. Probably going to be cutting it off so it's more like this. I'm going to do it. I need a second coat of the thermal. I think I will be able to get away with just 2 coats for the thermal base though. I don't think we need a 3rd coat if we're gonna be putting nail art over it. All right, I did such a good job. Cute and lore accurate. The fan art, you mean? You have crown. You have crown, Meme. You have crown. No kings, but maybe 1 queen. Just Meme. Okay, so if I just do the very simple outline, use I don't talk but I bite as the blue, and then I just need like a red and a yellow, or a pinky sort of coral and a yellow. I can probably use, but I don't have a yellow that will work well with that, so I should probably use a creme for that part. But is it fairly dark? Not that dark. Maybe high tea hibiscus? High tea hibiscus and butterscotch hop I think will work all right for this. I think that's close enough. Close enough. Oh, but I need to top coat this as well before I start doing any nail art on it. Otherwise, I'm definitely gonna have regrets. And I should also. All right, so let's go ahead and top coat this thumb before I start doing nail art, and also seal glaze the other thumb. And then we're going to see how fast we can do a derpy portrait in miniature. We're gonna try and speed run it. Oop. Did not get quite enough on there. There we go. Lore accurate because there was a part of the movie where all you would see of the tiger was the top half of the face. Oh, okay. That's cute. Oh, it's yeah, we're gonna be going into overtime this stream. But that's okay. We're not cowards here. Oh, by the way, some of you may be interested to know that tomorrow is Jammy Dodger and Budgie Smuggler's birthday. Tomorrow is when they officially turn 16. They're gonna be 16 years old. My tiny babies, my tiny furry babies are gonna be 16 years old tomorrow. It doesn't seem possible. And yet. Okay, there's the seal glaze. And I think we are good to begin. I think we're going to do some tube snacks, extra tube snacks. They don't necessarily get tube snacks every day. In fact, they haven't had any for a little while. So I know they'll be very excited to get some tube snacks. All right. So let's see here. We want to go. It's kind of got a bit of a butt head. It's like a little bit of a butt. There we go. Just me that sees a butt there? I just think he's got a little bit of a butt face. Okay. There's the basic shape of the head, and then we've got our little ears. They're not too big. Kind of little ears. I may have gone up a little bit too far. They're kind of... Is it just me, or are these kind of Snorlax ears? Does Snorlax have little ears like this? Am I imagining that? Your cats still think tube snacks are evil? Really? Oh, May. The shame. The shame. How awful. All right. I'm sorry that your cats don't appreciate the tube snacks. My girls really like them. I have to call them tube snacks because they know the T word. Not the tube word, but the other T word. And they associate that with the crunchy kind, which they get every night. And if I say the word, then it will be dangerous. I really need to clean that up. I did a very bad job of that dot. I should have just used a dotting tool for that, but didn't really feel like getting one out, and I'm paying the price for it. But this is why we put the top coat on first, so that we have a little bit of room to fix this sort of thing. Of course, the difficult thing about doing edits on a thermal with acetone is that if you're not careful, the acetone makes the thermal cold in that area, and so trying to clean up black nail polish off of a thermal that turns black is like it's easy to mistake areas that still have nail polish on them for areas that have just gotten cold all of a sudden. Okay. It currently sort of looks like a shirt, like a little, like a cute little top with like some little buttons down the front and like little straps. It's kind of given that sort of vibes, I think. We need to fix that immediately. You've only ever reverse stamped with thermal polish? Yeah, I don't think I would try to stamp with thermal, but reverse stamping and using it as the base both work pretty well. Okay, so now this is like here, and that's a big old eyebrow. I know that this is also supposed to be sort of tiger stripe, but it definitely reads as eyebrow, which I'm sure is on purpose. All right, there's 1 and 2. It also kind of makes him look like he's got multiple eyes. And then 3. And 2. And 3. There we go. I'm not going to have much room for the actual eyes. I could have started a little higher up there. That's okay though. We'll just get a little hint of the eyes. He's just being real sneaky. Just an incredibly sneaky lad. All right, so it's going to be the magenta around the edges. That was a cough. Also, we don't do that around here. You know that, May May. A little magenta around the edges, and then we do a little bit of the yellow in the middle. And then also, I think there's magenta in the ears. I reject the blessings. I always reject them. I do not wish the blessings. You can keep your stinky blessings. All right. There we go. And then yellow. I know it's force of habit. I understand. I probably should have put the blue in before I started putting the frickin' details in, huh? Oh, I was thinking. It's going to be a pain in the ass to put the blue in there now. Dang idiot. All right. Yellow. I'm going to have to do a little cleanup there. And I think actually I kind of want to do a little mixa zone. So it's not quite all the way magenta and not quite all the way yellow. Yeah. Yeah. All right, get a little cleanup there because I went a little too far into my proximal nail fold. I always feel a little bit silly saying proximal nail fold. But, you know, it's not quite correct to call it a cuticle. So I just feel like we need a better word for that. You know? Something less formal, but still accurate. You were wondering if it was going to be blue, but you're trusting the process. Sometimes it's better to question the process. Sometimes the Peggy is just being a ding-dang idiot. And you should be like, hey, Peggy, the fuck are you doing? Don't you want to put some blue in there first? Of course, you know that between the lag and me just being super focused on painting, I'm not necessarily going to see your comment until it's way too dang late anyway, so... You know? It's going to work out either way. It's going to be just fine. It truly, by the end of all of this, it won't matter that I did that. I simply made my life more difficult. But that's all right. You know, if you can't make your own life more difficult, whose life can you make more difficult? I mean, I guess a lot of people if you have sufficient power, but... We won't think or talk about that right now. Surely nobody would go around purposely making other people's lives more difficult. Nobody would do such a thing. I'm like completely hidden from you. I'm so sorry. I'm 6 subs away from 200. Me? Are you serious? That's exciting. Only like a few 100,000 more before I can do anything with it. Each and every one of you is a precious delight. And I am honored by your presence and your subscription. All right. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're doing it. The thing is happening. I feel like this is actually a little bit cuter than I expected. Given that I'm trying to speedrun it and went in without really a decent, proper, fully thought through plan. I am going to have to go back over that little bit. You're getting too gloopy. Come on, don't be gloopy. I don't want to have to thin you out. I'll do it if I have to, but I don't want to. 'Cause I'm too lazy. I think we did it, y'all. I think we freaking did it. All right, let me see if I can just take the blue off, or I have to also... Ah, okay, well, that was suboptimal. But we got there. Also, I totally freaking gouged this a little bit with my ring on my other hand. How annoying. It's because I haven't top coated it yet. I just have the seal glaze on there. All right. I think it's kind of good. I wish that I had started a little bit further up so you could see a bit more of the eyes. But I'm not mad about it. It would have been nice. You make your husband's existence more difficult on the daily. I mean, that's a hobby though. Like, God forbid a woman should have hobbies. Okay, top coat on the other thumb. Send you some seal glaze. I need to get some more seal glaze of my own. I don't even know when they freaking open. Do they ever open? Who keeps track of when they open? I guess I could just wait for them to show up in PPU or HHC again. That's where I got it last time. Actually, wait, do I have... I might have a refill. A small amount of refill. All right. There we go. And then I need to seal glaze this other thumb. Yeah, so I do have more. The one time that I got it from, I think it was from PPU. I didn't realize they weren't shipping it in a bottle. They were shipping, well, not like a, you know, a bottle with an applicator. They were shipping it in this little like refill bottle. And so thankfully I just have a bunch of bottles from screwing around with making my own nail polish. So I just keep topping it up. I guess I don't need any yet. I forgot I still had that. I don't know why I just put it away. I need it. They're open right now. There you go, Sassy. DRK is open right now. You can just order some. All right. Get this on here. And then we just gotta wait for that to dry, and then I can top coat that thumb, and then we're done. I do wish I hadn't dinged this nail, because that's gonna show up on photos. Get rid of this. I am pretty pleased with how this one came out. It is cute. Yeah, I know. But I don't even have a job, Sassy. So you're gonna have to get yourself your own seal glaze. If I ever win the lottery, then we can talk. Is seal glaze the same as a smudge-free top coat? Yeah. It's DRK's smudge-free top coat that they advertise for a variety of different purposes. Pardon me. Yeah, I pretty much exclusively use it these days on nail art. The other one that I will use as well is a Pipila. I like their smudge-free top coat as well. But that one's a little harder to get your hands on because you can't, there's no place to order it directly from. You can only get it through the collab boxes. So it's like just a little more convenient to get the DRK. I do think both work well. I think the DRK might be a little more robust for certain kinds of things, but both work well. So I would not hesitate to recommend either. All right, are you... No, you're still a little bit too sticky. Okay, so let's go through the collection again, or the 2 quads again, while we are waiting for this to dry. So first up we have the Cottagecore collection, the Them Bones, which is the thermal you can see here in the cold state in the bottle and the warm state, the extremely warm state on my nail. So this one has silver blue iridescent flakes, and it's an off-white to gray thermal. And then foraged, which is looking a little bit on the red side here, both in the bottle and on my nail, because that shimmer is very dominant in the bottle. But it is more of a sort of muted orangey brown base, and the shimmer, when it comes out, makes it look a lot more red. Little Froggy Pond is our pea green with a I think it's an orange to gold shimmer. It's like a pearlescent shimmer. And between the pages here, a nice soft muted sort of rosy pink with blue, sort of silvery blue to purple shimmer, also pearlescent. So that's the Cottagecore quad. And then the other quad is the We Are Hunters quad here. And so we have We're Going Up, which is based on the song Golden, of course, from K-pop Demon Hunters. A white to black thermal with gold flakes. It's a takedown, which is this very jelly magenta with sort of blue and pink and purpley, I think, shimmer. Beauty in the Broken Glass. This is the hollow magnetic. Here it is in the cat eye style, or semi-cat eye, because it's kind of 2 cat eyes. Using my bar, and then velvet on my finger. So this has a blue shimmer in addition to the hollow magnetic. And then finally, I Don't Talk But I Bite here, which has a bunch of different kinds of flakes in it. There's a rose gold flake and a teal micro flake and a couple other kinds of flake that I forget. So all of these I have in 3 coats here. Several of them do just fine in 2 coats. I would argue most of them would be fine in 2 coats on a lot of people, depending on how long your nails are, how aggressive your visible nail line is, and your personal preferences. Yes, I'm still here, Ashley. We just finished. I still need to top coat this thumb. We did some derpy nail art here. There we go. Ah. So there's our nail art. We stamped on this one with the Cottagecore collection, and this one is hand painted. But that's it. That's the whole thing. So all of these, both quads, are releasing tomorrow at arcanalacquer.com, I believe at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I can't recall the prices, but they're usually, I think most of their prices are usually like, wait a second. I'm just going to bring up the website because I feel like they're usually in the $13.50 range. Is that correct? Oh, they have the prices up. Okay. So it looks like they're all up on the website now, so you can wish list at this point. Looks like they're the Cottagecore collection are $13 a piece or $47 for the quad. So you do get a little bit of a deal on that. And then the We Are Hunters collection is 13 each except the magnetic. So Beauty and the Broken Glass is $14.50. The others are all 13 each. So the quad price for all four of them is $48 for those guys, which again, that's a little bit of a discount on the price of the individual ones. So those are all on the website, arcanalacquer.com, now for wish listing, and they will be available to purchase tomorrow. Again, I believe that's at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, and if you come up with any other comparisons that you want to see tomorrow, you can hit me up on Discord or Instagram and let me know. But I think that's everything for now. So yeah, holler at me. Let me know which ones you pick up, because I want to know, and then I want to see them on your nails afterwards. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream. Thank you, Ashley, for the reminder. Like the stream. I think everybody here is subscribed, but if there are any lurkers that haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe and help me out. Next week the last Halloween release week, or is it? I think it is. Okay, yeah, so next week's stream is going to be the last Halloween spooky nail art stream for this year. I don't know what I'm doing. If you have suggestions, yell at me. Tell me what you want me to do on my nails for my spoopy Halloween. I'm going to be wearing like a orange jack-o'-lantern shirt. So, I don't know. Maybe we do orange jack-o'-lantern nails. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's it.